Welcome to Menopause Reimagined. I'm your host, Andrea Donsky. I'm a nutritionist for more than 18 years, and I'm in menopause. I'm a menopause educator, menopause researcher, and I'm the co-founder of wearemorphus.com. I want to give a huge thanks to all of you who listen to our podcast on a regular basis because we were just named by FeedSpot one of the top 10 most popular menopause podcasts globally. So thank you, because together we are empowering women to take control of their health and menopausal symptoms. Today I'm speaking with Morris Zelkha. He holds a BSc in chemical engineering and has amassed over 45 years of experience leading process and innovation groups in the chemicals and fertilizers industries and nutraceutical sector. In 1991, Morris co-founded LycoRed, a renowned manufacturer of tomato lycopene, where he served as the president and CEO until the end of 2014. During his tenure, he spearheaded unique process developments, drove product innovation, and led successful global market development efforts for the flagship tomato lycopene brand, Lycomato. In 2014, Morris embarked on a new venture with two partners from the pharma industry, establishing TriNutra. The primary focus was to create standardized full-spectrum Nigella sativa oil by utilizing breeding techniques with seeds containing high Thymoquinone content. This groundbreaking approach resulted in the development of innovative compositions that enhance the bioavailability of Thymoquin, which is what we use in our Morphus ThymoQuin product. With an impressive portfolio of over 35 registered patents, Morris has been a valued partner at TriNutra Limited and GRAS Breeding Limited since 2015. Now, I want to welcome Morris to our show. Welcome to Menopause Reimagined, Morris.
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I invited you because as part of our Morphus lineup of products, we have our amazing Morphus Thymoquin. And as being a menopause researcher and really diving deep into supplement ingredients, I wanted to go directly to the source because you are the source of our black seed oil. And I wanted our listeners and our community to hear from you as to why Morphus Thymoquin is so awesome. I know it's awesome, and many of our consumers who are buying it know it's awesome, but I want to hear from you exactly what got you interested in going into black seed oil, the industry, and also I'll ask you, tons of questions as we go along as to the quality and to dosage and all of that good stuff from our Morphus Thymoquin. So let's start with your story.
Yeah, again, my background with the industry is more than 35 years. I was at LycoRed as start the company from an idea, and I was the managing of the company for 24 years, and black seed oil have all the time in my mind that's this is product that I need to look at it, and the reason for that, there's more than 500 studies supporting the benefit of black seed oil. So after I left LycoRed, I start evaluating what's available, and then I found that the U.S. market and there's flooded with a lot of different qualities. It's not standardized, and the quality of it, that's the level of free fatty acid is so high that's went from 8% to something like 25%. Free fatty acid is rancidity of the oil.
I was just going to say, can you explain what that means for us? Because we don't really, that's terminology, that's more supplement talk, but what does that mean? Like, why should we care about fatty acids in black seed oil?
See, let's start explaining first of all, what is free fatty acid in oil? Okay. Free fatty acid is the fat in the oil is converted to free level, and that's because there is a rancidity of the oil. Think about consuming olive oil. Okay. If you will consume olive oil with high free fatty acid, first of all, the taste will be terrible. The second is not allowed. From the regulation point of view, you are not allowed to sell olive oil with high free fatty acid. Over 2% is forbidden from selling it to the market. Okay. Same thing here with the black seed oil. During processing, and that can be the storage of the seeds, the shelf life of the seeds, processing condition, because oxidation during processing can convert the fats to free fatty acid. Okay. All that's together create different level of free fatty acid. And the initial work that's done by us to look if there is any difference on the black seed oil activity when the free fatty acid change from 2% to 30%. And we found that actually when the level is very high, or compared to 2%, you are losing the potency of the thymoquinone. And that's affecting immediately the quality of the product. If it's anti-inflammatory, the anti-inflammatory effect, let's say if you have product that's contain 1% thymoquinone, and you have it with 2% free fatty acid, and compare it to product that have 10% free fatty acid with the same level of thymoquinone, the anti-inflammatory effect can drop by 60, 70%. So that's a very important parameter to look at the quality of the black seed.
So I just want to summarize that. Sorry to interrupt you. So just to summarize. So basically when we're looking to buy a black seed oil, you want to make sure that the fatty acids are low, because when the fatty acids are high, it promotes rancidity and obviously the taste of it. A lot of people complain about taste of black seed oils. I'm guessing that's because they're high in fatty acids when they have like a very strong taste. And also the inflammatory part of it, which is because black seed oil is anti-inflammatory. When the free fatty acids are high, it actually doesn't, it promotes inflammation as opposed to being anti-inflammatory. Was
exactly.
That right? Okay.
So that's one. The other parameter that you need to look at it is the bioavailability of the product. The bioavailability, our body is not absorbing thymoquinone. And because it's not absorbed properly, then you can have 2,000 milligrams of the oil, but the absorption of it is very low. The ThymoQuin is you can have 500 milligrams with 3% thymoquinone with high bioavailability. It's about 5 times higher than the regular black seed oil.
Which is amazing.
From one side, you have standardized thymoquinone, you have higher bioavailability, and you have a very low free fatty acid. Actually, our product is the lowest free fatty acid, and this is the only product that have been approved as a USP grade because the low level of free fatty acid.
I love it. Okay, so just to clarify, this is our Thymoquinone, Morphus Thymoquinone. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, we have it on our website, on our store, which is this is exactly why we wanted to use Thymoquin as our black seed oil, because of all these reasons that you're talking about more. So just a couple of things just so I make sure that I understand and everyone who's listening understands as well. What's the difference between a fatty acid, because we've got our omega-3 fatty acids, and a free fatty acid?
See, all type of seed oil that can come from olive oil, pomegranate seed oil, all the seeds have fats. But this fat, when it's rancid, it's converted to free fatty acid. And this free fatty acid is creating the taste issue, in some cases also smell issue, and it's not good to our health. It can create inflammation process in our body. So free fatty acid is very important level to control. The fats, that's what you have from nature, so you can't change it.
Yeah.
On top of it, we need to look at it that all the science is based on the full spectrum of the seeds. The full spectrum of the seeds is not only thymoquinone, is other precursors of thymoquinone. That's the picumen, that's the carbachol. All that's together create a composition. This composition have been tested with more than 500 studies. And when you are trying to look at it, it's very important to look that it's a cold press, it's a full spectrum. Because when you are extracting one active, the thymoquinone, you can have even 20% thymoquinone. Keep in mind that when you are purifying and extracting only the thymoquinone, you are removing about 80% of the full spectrum. And the full spectrum, there is phytosterols, there is other components that contribute to the benefit of the black seed oil. And
Yes,
that's
full spectrum,
something
for
that
sure.
we need to keep in mind.
So to repeat, so Morphus ThymoQuin is a full spectrum black seed oil, and it has it's very highly absorbed, which is going back to what you were saying before in terms of bioavailability, meaning how well do we absorb it, right? So in terms of making sure that we get absorbed. On the label, and this is something we were talking about before, if you look at a Morphus ThymoQuin label, on the back it says there's 500 milligrams of black seed oil, the Nigella sativa, and then there's 15 milligrams of the thymoquinone. And that's what you're referring to, right? So it has the full spectrum, but it also has 3%. It's standardized to that 3%. So 3% of the 500 is 15 milligrams of the thymoquinone. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that so that everybody who orders it or who's already bought it before understands exactly what they're getting.
See, the black seed, the important component in the black seed oil is the level of the thymoquinone. Most of the studies is related to the thymoquinone activities. Thymoquinone is very active. And when you are buying an oil, and normally it's not mentioned on the label, what is the level of thymoquinone, you can have 0.5%, and you can have 3%, you can have 20%. The level of thymoquinone is indicating the potency. But as I mentioned before, it's not only the level of thymoquinone, you need to look at the full spectrum, because the full spectrum promote the activities of the thymoquinone as well. So if you are, let's say you will take a product that's 100% thymoquinone and compare it to the same dosage of thymoquinone, but full spectrum. You can't compare the efficacy of the product because the product have other component that creates synergistic effect with the thymoquinone.
If there are regulations for, you were saying, let's say like olive oil, you can't have more than 2% free fatty acids or whatever that number was that you mentioned. Why isn't there regulations around black seed oil? So that would tell me that there are a lot of brands on the market that have high levels of fatty acids, which are, if we're looking at taking black seed oil, we're taking it for the if you're taking it because you want to reduce inflammation or whatever all the amazing benefits are. But if you're buying a brand that has high levels of free fatty acids, it's doing the opposite. Why is there no regulation around it?
First of all, the usage of the diet of the black seed oil is mainly for dietary supplement. It's not for food. The regulation for the olive oil is for food consumption.
Got it.
And that's, you have the CFR that's controlling what is the level that's allowed. Dietary supplement is a different scenario, and the regulation is based on quality. You have a USP monograph. USP monograph is giving you a kind of a quality label that's indicate that the product meets certain specification. But the authority is not preventing selling a dietary supplement that have higher free fatty acid, even though that it can create a side effect.
And that's why it's so important for consumers to understand what they're buying. And that's why for me at Morphus, when I created our line of supplements, it was like quality, 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 and understanding why ours are better than others. And I mean, there are a million supplement brands in the market, but understanding that you're buying one that's full of, that's high quality, but also absorb well, for me is so important. And that's why it comes down to our ingredients. What are the ingredients we're putting in our products? And for me, it's these branded ingredients like Thymoquin that we get from you that we're able to back up with the research, and also for someone like you coming on and saying, okay, here's how our quality is amazing. Here's how you're going to get the best product on the market. So I'm happy we're doing this, Morris. It makes me very happy. Okay, so before we get into the science and all the research that's behind it, you're talking about, I'm going to recap just what you said. So it's the full spectrum, it's the cold press, it's the, where thymoquinone is one of the most important things, which is where a lot of, or most of the active ingredients come from, but there's still a lot of amazing benefits that come from that full spectrum black seed oil. And then you want to make sure when you're buying a product, what should consumers look for on the label? So I'm hoping they're buying ours, Morphus Thymoquin, but if they are, if they can't get it or they want to buy another type of black seed oil, would it say on a label how much free fatty acids are in there? Like, how would they know they're buying a good quality product?
See, unfortunately, let's say 99% of the suppliers or the product that's available in the US market, the level of free fatty acid is not mentioned. I can say that we test the top 20 product that's available in the US market. The lowest was 7.5, the highest was over 30%. So that's indicate how this market is not regulated, and most of the product is even not mentioning what is the level of thymoquinone, because you can have unfortunately the consumer is looking, okay, I'm buying black seed oil, it's 2,000 milligram capsules, and I have 60 capsules, and the price of it is great.
Right.
But when you are looking at the 2,000 milligram, what is the level of thymoquinone and what is the level of free fatty acid, is instead of having black seed oil, you can consume olive oil. Can be more healthy than the regular black seed oil.
So if they say there's 2,000, so if a company would say, 2,000 milligrams, what else? Like, I guess to wrap my head around the standardization, what we know that when you're getting 3% standardized thymoquinone, which you said was quite high, because most of them are it can be as low as 0.5. Is that it? Like, it can be quite low.
And can be even 0.2.
Can be 0.2 thymoquinone, right? So we want to make sure. So ours is the highest standardized on the market to that 3%. So you're getting the active ingredient, which is going to make the difference, which is going to help you with all the benefits that we're going to talk about in a minute in terms of the research as why you want to take black seed oil. So you're basically saying that they can't really know. So they would have to ask the company, they would have to ask, maybe email the company to go on their website to see. And the two questions is how much thymoquinone is in the product, and then also what is the percentage of free fatty acids? So those would be the two questions to ask.
And the full spectrum, of course.
So what is the percentage of free fatty acids from Morphus Thymoquin black seed oil?
It's below 2%, and we are moving to have it below 1.25%.
Amazing. Okay, so now let's move onto the research. Why do we want to be taking black seed oil? What are all the amazing benefits? And even before you answer that, I'm gonna say, for everyone who ordered Morphus, we sold out of Morphus Thymoquin like super quickly, which I was very excited about, because it's such a good product. We sent an email to everybody, and in that email, I listed 20 different studies, and that was just like, kind of like you said, there was over 500 different studies. I listed 20 different studies. So, but I want you to go into why they're amazing.
The activity of the thymoquin is so wide.
Okay.
And again, I'm coming from this industry, and I work with this industry for, as I mentioned, more than 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have one product that can have cardiometabolic. What it means cardiometabolic? It can affect your blood pressure. It can maintain a healthy blood pressure. It can maintain a healthy glucose level and a healthy liver. So, and all that's in one product. That's based on studies that we have. On top of it, because it's anti-inflammatory activities, and we compare it to a wide range of products. We compare it to curcumin, we compare it to carnosic acid from rosemary. It's active at a very low level. For instance, curcumin, if you compare it to curcumin C3, the Sabinsa C3, the activity is 0.45 milligram of thymoquin is compared to 1 milligram of C3. It's a very potent product. And on top of it, because it's have anti-inflammatory effect, it's supporting immune system, and there are studies supporting immune system. It's supporting respiration, and all that's in one capsules a day, 500 milligram and that you can have it in a soft gel. The reason that we have it in soft gel and not in a powder form, we can have it in powder form because the powder form affecting the bioavailability. So the product that we are selling is only in oil because it's important for us to deliver product that have the claim that we mentioned: higher bioavailability, lower free fatty acid, full spectrum.
Love it. Okay. So cardiometabolic. So when we're talking about lowering blood pressure, I know you were, the research was showing that it can help reduce blood pressure within a couple of days, right? Is it 3 days that it can help with lowering blood pressure? Let's talk a little bit about blood pressure because that's a huge factor when it comes to heart health. And especially as we go into perimenopause and menopause, especially in menopause, within 10 years, it becomes an even bigger issue. So can you talk a little bit about the benefits for lowering blood pressure and also in the healthy range, but also for people who are on blood pressure medication, and how can they speak to their doctor if they wanted to try black seed oil or Thymoquin?
See, the study that's run by us was people without medication and also people that are receiving medication. People that are receiving, let's talk about people that are receiving medication. When you are combining Thymoquin with medication, and we look at different type of medication that have been used, the consumer can drop the medication level. That's mean, and the results that we have, you can drop your medication more than 50%. And you can have the same effect, and that's the benefit of combining the two together. Of course, the studies that's done is with people that are healthy people, but there are certain practitioners that look at it as well to combine it with medication, and they are very happy with the results that they found.
So of course, always working with your doctor, right? So, hopefully taking this interview or, for them to go to their doctor and doing your own research to say, hey, I'm on medication for blood pressure, but I'd like to reduce my, if this is something you want to do, reduce your blood pressure medication, and black seed oil can be a way to help you do that.
Yeah, but then you need to change the dosage of your medication to have a lower dosage.
Okay, so speak to your doctor about that. Okay, so now what about for people who are not on medication?
People that are not, let's say, at the high level without receiving medication, that's definitely very helpful. So it's can bring the blood pressure to a lower level, and it can, let's say, people with a low blood pressure will not suffer from it, because it will bring it to a level that it's not significant. But people that have in the higher level, it can be very helpful to bring them to the normal level.
So to clarify then, for people who have high blood pressure, taking black seed oil can help to lower it within 3 days. You could take it with your medication, and obviously speaking to your doctor if you're taking it with your medication to lower your medication, and it can work also on its own to help lower it. If you have blood pressure in the healthy range, it won't lower it too much that it would cause a problem, right? That's what you're saying?
Now, on top of it, people that suffering from obesity, that they're suffering from high blood pressure, high glucose level, fatty liver, it can help them as well, because it can help to maintain, it's improving insulin resistance. Improving insulin resistance can help to maintain a healthy glucose level. That's a big benefit to people that suffering from a high glucose level. And on top of it, it supports your liver. And most of the population today in the world is suffering from fatty liver. Even it's not recognized as a disease, but the side effect of it is significant. And having a natural product that can support or can convert her fatty liver to a healthy liver, that's a very important message.
One of the things I'm very, very adamant about and passionate about at Morphus is that we look at long-term studies for the products we're using, because I really don't want it to have any negative effect on our liver, because as we go into perimenopause and menopause, our liver can change up to 40% in volume, and we're more prone to things like fatty liver, like insulin resistance. So for me, when I think of a product like black seed oil, it's amazing because it's actually supporting liver health, and it's supporting glucose health, and and our like you said, the cardiometabolic markers, which is great. So is there any downside to taking black seed oil? Like, for example, who shouldn't be taking it?
People that have a sensitive stomach, okay, they can have side effects. And if the recommendation is 1 to 2 capsules a day, start with 1 capsule. See if you don't have any sensitivity. The product is potent. High dosage is not recommended. Okay? And you can take up to 4 capsules a day, but our recommendation is 1. Start with 1.
Yep.
If you don't have any negative effect, you can go up to 2. People that suffering from blood pressure or high blood pressure or fluctuation in their blood pressure, they can take 1 capsule in the morning, recommended empty stomach, and 1 capsule at night. This can help them also to sleep better. And the recommendation here is not to go with too high dosage. Too high dosage can product that is very potent can create a side effect. Even our results that even with 4 capsules a day, we don't find side effect,
Right.
But our recommendation is not to go over 4 capsules a day.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the important thing too, is, and that's why when you see products out there and they're like, oh, we have, like you said, 2000 milligrams or 3000 or like all these like crazy high dosages, more is not better when it comes to supplements. It's about taking it in the right dose that's going to give you the efficacious results that you're looking for. So, and I think it's an important thing that we wrap our heads around, is that don't take more, like take what the bottle recommends. And in this case, like on the bottle, it says, I think it says take 1 to 2 capsules a day on an empty stomach. And you're saying you could take up to 4. Why would somebody want to take up to take 4 as opposed to the 1 to 2 that the bottle recommends?
See, if you are suffering from inflammation process, a very significant process, there is studies that supporting cancer health. And this is an area that we don't want to cover it. It's a very sensitive area. And it's preferred that in this level, higher dosage is needed.
Okay.
But by the way, before we promote the product, we have a GRAS self-affirmed. The reason for the GRAS self-affirmed is to be sure that the safety of using our standardized product is that the product is safe. And our GRAS based on 4 capsules a day. That's why we are recommending not to have more than 4 capsules a day.
Okay. And GRAS is generally recognized as safe, for those of you who are wondering what GRAS means. So 4 capsules a day max, and but start to the 1 to 2. Now, we know that black seed oil can help with gut health. How does it help with gut health?
It's improving the microbiome. It's improving the microbiome profile, and it's helping the microbiome, and that's very important for different effects. So it's supporting immune system, and you can look at the immune system because it's improving the microbiome. In some cases, when you have a sensitive stomach, then it's recommended to take it with food. And before making a decision to stop using it, is to try what is the right time to consume the product. Sometimes when you are taking it with food, you can have less sensitivity, but it's depend on the personal people. That's how what is their sensitivity and what they feel when they are taking.
Is there anything else regarding ThymoQuin black seed oil that we didn't talk about today that you would like to share with our listeners?
So the reason that we can control the quality is because we are back integrated to the cultivation, and everything is done by us. So we are cultivating the black seed, and we are processing it. And the site, if the distance between the site and the farms is half an hour driving. So that's the way that we can have a fresh seed can be extracted by cold press, no solvent here, and we can guarantee the quality of the product. The standardization is giving us the capability that we can deliver a product on a continuous basis with the same quality. We start with the breeding of the seeds, so that's only we own the seeds, and actually the farmers that work with us is receiving the seed from us, and they are cultivating it for us, and then we are controlling everything from the farm to the finished product.
So you basically grow it and you process it. So you know exactly what's happening from beginning to end, which is what, and then we buy the ingredients from you, and then we put it into our Morphus ThymoQuin, which I love. So we're going to put a video of the process because I find the process fascinating at the end of this video, at the end of the interview. So for those of you listening to our podcast, you can head over to YouTube to our We Are Morphus page, and you can watch it here. Or you can just listen to it, obviously on audio, but we're going to show the process, which I think is pretty fantastic. Well, thank you so much for doing the interview today, Morris. I'm excited that we're working with you. I'm excited that we have our Morphus ThymoQuin here. I'm going to show you actually the size of the soft gels. It's not even that big. Like they're pretty, here you can see like they're not even that big. They're easy to take, and they go down pretty easily too. So it's amazing. So thank you for making an incredible ingredient. Thank you for allowing us to use your ingredient in our product. And I'm excited to learn more. I know you have some more exciting products in the pipeline, which I'm sure we're going to add to our Morphus lineup at some point, and we'll have you back on to talk about those when they're ready.
Thank you for inviting me. Have a good day.
I hope you enjoyed my interview with Morris and you have a better understanding of what Morphus ThymoQuin is and why I love our black seed oil so much. I mean, for me, when I launch Morphus products, like I said in the interview, it's all about the quality, absorption, quality, and how is it going to help us in this phase, in perimenopause and menopause, and what are the long-term effects? And in this case, like he said, there are very little side effects. If you do have any, always listening to your body. So if you enjoyed today's interview, please share it, because the more you share, shows you care. And please leave us a review if you enjoy our Menopause Reimagined podcast. As always, I appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you at the next podcast.